All right, do you hear what I hear? Can you hear what I hear? You should be able to. The air conditioner's on. For today only. I turned it on about an hour, probably about an hour and a half ago. And I have it on low, energy saver, 74. Right now I have it on 74 degrees. And it's 83 in here. I have all the doors open. I have the ceiling fan going. And in Kenny's room in the back, I have a fan going back there. And I'm waiting to hear from him. He had an appointment with his doctor this morning, and he got his shot in his stomach, and he's waiting to find out what time the shuttle is going to bring him home. He's been in for 19 days, you guys. 19 days this round. So he's eager to get out of there. But I'm going to let the air conditioner run today. Today it's to go up to 96 here, and between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock, or 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock, is the hottest time in any room in this apartment. So I want to make sure it gets cooled down so that, you know, by that time we'll be okay. And then tonight I'll turn it off, and then its temperatures are supposed to break, and it's going to the 80s, and we're going to get rain, and I'm looking forward to all that. I got the card. Just when you feel you have no time to relax, know this is the moment you most need to relax. Matt Haig said that. The action is organize your calendar based on your top priorities, and remember to schedule sufficient time for self-nourishment. And I did just that because I just made my coffee. My old friend came up, picked me up, took me for breakfast at McDonald's. Not keen on McDonald's food. I got up this morning. Well, I fell last night. I didn't trip and fall, but I kind of just went down. And I think it was the heat. And I landed on my side. So I have a little tiny bit of soreness on my side. And this morning, because I was up pretty much all night, last night wasn't great. I was up pretty much all night. And then around 7 o'clock, I started to get super nauseous. And I remembered that I had Zofran, generic Zofran, from when Sky was still alive. Every now and then he needed to take Zofran. And I had some Zofran left. So I took one of his Zofran. And those things work like a charm. My nausea was gone within 15 minutes. So I'm going to email my doctor, and I'm going to let him know that I'm off my stomach medicine, and I have been for a while now. And that's a good feeling. You know, it's a good feeling when you know that you've been able to put a medicine away that you've been on forever. Like, I've been on famotidine for a good number of years, and I just don't need it. So I've been off it for a while, and it's so weird to get up in the morning and not take a stomach pill and have my stomach be okay. It's a good feeling. So all I have is my Ativan and my metoprolol, and my metoprolol works really well for my little heart skips. So we want to keep that on the roster. But I want to see if my doc can call me in some Zofran, like 10 pills. If I get those bouts of nausea again, because those things work like a charm. And I need to let him know about the stomach medicine also. Because when I was with him, I didn't even think to tell him that I had stopped taking it. We just didn't talk about my stomach. No. Your girl didn't. Either she went heavy on the French vanilla or she didn't stir. Because I just got a mouthful of nothing but French vanilla coffee mate. Yeah, she didn't stir. She didn't stir well enough. Okay, let's talk. I did not check my video from yesterday where I was talking about phone phobia, but I did have 2 people come to me and say, I'll talk to you on the phone. So thank you to that person and thank you to that person. And I'm not going to say names, doesn't need to be said, but thank you. One person said that they also have a little bit of phone phobia and we can work on it together. So if there's anybody else out there, and again, I didn't go over to the comments to see anything yet, but if you're one of those people that would want to talk on the phone now and then, I'm not talking every day, I'm not talking for an hour and a half, I'm talking, once a week or something for 20 minutes or something, you know what I mean? Let me know. If you have my number and, we're that tight, that close, let me know over on Messenger that, yeah, put me on the call list. Doesn't mean I'm just going to call you up out of the blue. I wouldn't do that. I would text first and say, what day this week do you think you're going to be free that you would want to talk? That's the way we'll do it. I've got a little bit of anxiety going. I'm on day 3 of my taper. I know it's only day 3, but I need to have days 1, 2, and 3 in order to get to days 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 10, and 20, right? You got to start at that beginning. And then you just keep pushing forward. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So I have actually cut back. I actually have cut back by a whole milligram. And I was on 3 milligrams for the longest time. We and my psychiatrist bumped me to 4 during this transitional time when Sky passed away. And it was to be for a short period of time and then go back down to the 3 milligrams. So that's what I've done. Even though I put 4 milligrams in my case, I've only been taking 3 for the past 3 days. Today will be 3 days. So far I've eliminated a milligram only because I was on 3 milligrams to begin with, and we only bumped me up for a short period of time. So we'll see how it goes. That's that. So proud of myself there. I'd like to stay at the 3 milligram mark for a while, and then slowly inch myself to 2 3/4 milligram, then 2 1/2, then 2 1/4, and then 2, and then like that. But over time, I have the time to do it, so I'm going to do it right so that I don't, get all those weird side effects that we all get when we try to do this. I want to talk for a minute about the rough side that I went through when I was taking care of Sky. Taking care of someone that you love is super hard. One, because you love them and you don't want to see them in pain and you don't want to see them hurting and you don't want the change up in your life, because when your loved one is sick, or if it's your parent or your child or your sibling and you're really tight and there's a sickness and you're the caregiver and it changes up your whole world, it changes up you going places together, it changes up vacations, it changes up grocery shopping, it changes up even something as simple as watching a movie together. Everything gets changed up. Everything gets changed up. And knowing that Sky's illness was chronic and terminal for down the road, I knew that most likely the things that we were planning on doing, like going to Ireland and going to Scotland and going to the beach and watching the sunrise and the sunset, and going horseback riding and going bowling. That stuff wasn't going to happen. So while I'm taking care of him, and you can call yourself a caregiver or a care partner. A lot of people call themselves a care partner when they're in a partnership, a husband-wife, and you're the caregiver. I've heard that. I actually heard it for the first time for Bruce Willis's wife referred to herself as his care partner. And I just thought that that was so cool. You know, I'm his partner, I'm caring for him, I'm his care partner. I'm sitting here in front of this air conditioner and my arm is cold. It's actually cold. Anyway, so you're the caregiver, care partner, and everything that you plan to do with this person you love is off the table. All the hopes, the dreams, the plans, off the table. It's all gone. It's off the table. He or she is still there, but it's off the table. And so you as the care partner, you're dealing with caring for him or her, caring for yourself, if you can remember to do that, because I didn't. I totally forgot me in the whole equation. And taking all the plans and the dreams and the hopes and wiping the slate clean. It's just like taking a whiteboard and having all your plans mapped out, or your calendar, and then just erasing everything. And there's nothing. So with that comes a lot of negative emotions. So it's not all, you know, oh, I love him or her so much and I'm going to give him or her the best care. You do give the best care. I gave the best care I could give to Sky every single day, every single night. But I also was dealing with my own emotions through the whole thing. I was dealing with my own exhaustion, my fatigue, my tiny little aching bones. I was dealing with negative feelings about family that wasn't there to help. I was dealing with negative feelings about his doctor and the medical community in general, that I felt dropped the ball and wasn't there to help me and Sky. And those negative feelings come up often, and they can come up really hard, and they can linger a while. I was tired sometimes of having to fix my own coffee, my iced coffee. I was tired, and I felt cheated. I felt cheated that I didn't get his love anymore. I didn't get his emotional love. I didn't get his physical love anymore. He wasn't able to bring me a hot cup of tea anymore. He wasn't able to fix me a half a sandwich. He wasn't able to do any of those things anymore. He wasn't able to go to the store and get me a birthday card. He wasn't, all those things were off the table. And so I felt cheated that I wasn't getting him and his love anymore. I wasn't getting all the hugs back. I wasn't getting all the kisses back. I wasn't getting the physical love. I wasn't getting the emotional love. I wasn't getting the philosophical love. You know, those long conversations that we used to have, we didn't have anymore. Everything shifted and everything changed. And there were nights that I just laid in bed and cried for all of the losses. And then I felt guilt, because how dare I feel upset over the fact that we're not going to get to go to the beach, or we're not going to get to go to Ireland. The man is sick and he's dying. How dare I think about something like that? How dare I think about the dreams that we're not going to have? How selfish is that of me to have those thoughts in the mix of all of everything else? But you think those things because it's a part of who you are and who you are with your partner, or your children, or your parents, or whatever it is. If it was mom or dad that made the best potato salad or cooked the best steaks on the grill, and they take ill and you're the caregiver, and those picnics don't happen anymore, there's all kinds of feelings. And the loss, all the losses, and in that, a lot of negative comes in. You start to do a lot of negative thinking. I know I did. Some days I was just so angry. I was angry at myself for any negativity that I felt. I was angry at God. I was so angry at God so often. I was angry at Sky. Like, why did you get sick? Why did you go into work that day and get the big COV, which kick-started his illness? We found out with MSA, every time you get sick, no matter what it is, what the illness is, it kicks your MSA into higher gear. So Sky had gotten COVID, then he got COVID again, a second time, like 2 years later, and he got a UTI that landed him in the hospital the October before he died. He was doing a lot of bleeding out with the UTI, and I said, I didn't even give him options. I'm like, we're going to call an ambulance. And he was in the hospital for 3 days and 3 nights on antibiotics. And the doctor said, each time he's sick, his MSA is going to progress faster. So I was angry at MSA. I was angry at COVID. I was angry at the medicines, if they made him sleepy or they gave him side effects. I was angry. I was just angry. I was angry at the world. I got a text. And so I had to deal with all of those feelings. Loving him, caring for him, forgetting about myself. In all that going on, I lost 12 pounds, probably. There were nights I couldn't get a shower because I was so bone tired. All of my joints ached. All of my joints. My back hurt so bad I thought that I just cried in pain. I was living on ibuprofen like 3-4 times a day. Ibuprofen for all my aches and pains. My hair, which is now just starting to come back, started falling out and thinning out. You guys saw it, the progress of what was happening with my hair. My skin changed. The wrinkles became more pronounced. My sleep was more disturbed when I could get sleep. All these physical things. My stomach was hurting more. My heart skips were more. My heart rate would go way up in the 150s because my anxiety was so high. So all these physical things were happening to me while I was caring for him. And then that would create more of a frustration. And I would go for my doctor's appointment and I would sit there and cry and there was nothing he could do. And I'm basically like, can't anybody do anything? Like, you know, we can send someone to the moon and we can't fix this. We can't cure this. Like, I'm not understanding. All this research, why isn't there more research? You know, all the questions come in. Why isn't the insurance covering things like a wheelchair or a walker? Why, with what we're paying for insurance out of pocket? You know, all the things. There's all these things that all the negative emotions, and I had them. I had to some days just walk out of the room. I would just say to him, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And I'd put icy hot on my back and lay flat on the floor for 10 minutes just to be able to stand to get him pulled up in bed. I'd have to find a way to deal with his emotions when he would break down in tears, when I had to put, you know, a cloth protector on him because he was spilling his food down the front of him. And to be able to hold him and let him know that, yeah, he was still a man. It was still okay. And I'm watching him and I'm like, I'm losing my man. He's just going. You know, the man who always wanted to be shaved perfectly now doesn't want to be shaved at all. Who doesn't want his teeth brushed. Who doesn't care if his glasses are clean or if he even has them on. It doesn't matter to him anymore. He's leaving me. He's leaving life. He's leaving this part. And I'm just walking in circles going, does anybody care? Does anybody understand what's happening in my home? The emotions, you're going to go through them all. For those of you who have already been a caregiver and lost your significant other and you're the one left behind, I'll be curious in the comments if you're willing to talk about any of those kind of emotions that you went through as you were the caregiver. There's nothing easy about this. To sit at the table with the funeral director and listen to her ask him whether he wanted an obituary, whether he wanted to wear certain clothing to go into the furnace for his cremation. And he's alive and he's breathing and he's talking with her. And I'm screaming in my head, we shouldn't be having this talk. You know? So all that. Today is 19 weeks since Sky left. 19 weeks. So let's see, 10 times 7 is 70 days. 9 times 7 is 63 days, right? So 70 and 63, what's that, 133 days? 133 days he's been gone. 133. And every day I learn something new about myself. Every day. So now I'm at a place with this channel as to where do I go next with this. I feel like pretty much everything has been talked about, and so I want to keep the channel going, and I think most likely what I'll do is do videos once or twice a week as opposed to daily. There was a lot to kind of put out there, and I was able to do that, and now I feel like, okay, there's not really anything more I can say on a daily basis. Yeah. So I'll still be here. I don't think I'll be here every day. I mean, unless something big happens. My son should be arriving almost any time. He got his discharge papers. He was waiting for the shuttle. And and I had some time with my oldest daughter yesterday. It went amazingly well. She's helping me with anxiety and life and things, and she's incredibly brilliant, and it's very easy to have her kind of help me navigate this part of my life. It's refreshing. It's wonderful to have someone help me navigate this part of my life. And so that was really, really good. And I think that's about it. That's about it. So I'm going to go. Everybody take care. Take care of yourselves. Boy, oh boy. I've had the pleasure, and it's an absolute pleasure, because I'm trying to find anything good out of what's happened with Sky's passing. Anything. Like, give me a glimmer of something. And not only is it a glimmer, but it's like a beacon of light. Because out of Sky's passing, I've gotten to meet some of the coolest people ever on the planet. Some of them we connect once a month, some of them it's a couple times a week, some of them it's daily, some are through text, some are through Messenger, some type, some talk to me, we talk to each other. Like, I have friends. I have friends. Friends I may never ever meet in person, friends I may never sit down and have a coffee with or a tea with, but I have friends. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so sad that it had to be because Sky passed away and I made this channel, but I'm so grateful for all the people that I've gotten to know that are going through this, and how we're each trying to navigate it, because every one of us is navigating it in a different way. We're all feeling something different. We're all in different time frames. And everybody's trying to figure out how to do this. How to, okay, this move forward thing. How do we do it? The move forward thing. And we're all just trying to figure it out. It's like the first day of school, you know? You just try to figure it out. You get through, and each day you get through, it's like, okay, made it through that one. Each phone call I make, each thing that I wrap up, each thing that I get figured out, I'm like, okay, way to go, poet. I'm strong. I'm stronger than I thought I was. We'll put it like that. And for every one of us that get through each day and keep moving on, and get it figured out, we learn something, right? So take care of yourself, please. I need my friends. And thank you guys for being here, for sticking things out with me, for sharing your life with me, for sharing your stories with me, for what you're going through. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving anybody. I'm not abandoning anybody. I will be hitting you guys up with messages and text and who's okay and what do you need, and text anytime, and let's talk. Because we need that. We need that as the ones left behind. We need that. And if you're not the one left behind and you're in my group, you're in my circle, my family, I need you just as much. The unfortunate thing is, at some point, every one of us is going to be the one left behind. It's just that some of us are ahead of others. Some of us have already gone through the funeral director part and the carrying out the body part. Some of us have already done that. And we're like, now we're like in second or third grade. Like we've gone up a few grades, And, but everybody's going to go through it. Everybody is going to go through it at some point in their life. Some kind of grief and mourning, and then you'll see what it's like, and you'll have to figure out how to maneuver it, and you'll do it the best way you can. You will. So I feel incredibly blessed that this circle just, you guys are just here, and I'm really happy about that. My hope would be someday that I get to meet every single one of you, and have that 2 hours of talk in person with that iced coffee or that, that tea or whatever. That would be really cool. So I'm going to go. Take care. And it'll probably be a little while before I'm back, a couple days, to give myself some time to have something to talk to you about, right? But in the meantime, just make sure that you're okay. Okay?